Update: I have apparently been dating my best friend for an entire year but didn't know until today. Turns out he's just dumb and sad, or maybe crazy and psychotic. I did give him way too much benefit of the doubt. I brought it up to my psychiatrist, showed her the Reddit post I made, a few of the messages I've received, and she basically had the attitude of, hey, remember that great guy? Well, he's a piece of shite now. So let's learn about moving on and not reminiscing on a broken friendship, which I think is the best way to go in about this. Now, to be honest, I don't remember much because I wanted to cry from the moment he started talking. Also, I was quiet and only spoke very little because I did not want to make a bigger scene than it already was. I just let him talk for a few hours and then dipped. Towards the end, he was shouting and unpredictable, people were looking, and I just wanted to go home. I decided that we should meet up in a public space. Before his practice, I sent him a text and asked if he wanted to meet up at a coffee shop we both know. He called, said yes, and, you sound serious, should I be worried? To which I said, honestly yes you should. He told me to stop joking and then went on to his practice. Fast forward a couple hours, I'm sitting there and he comes in, sits in front of me and thanks me for the food I ordered for him. We start eating, I'm a nervous wreck and he realizes, which led to him asking, are you really okay? You didn't seem good a while ago, and from what you said, I'm actually worried now. So I lay it out on him. I ask him why he thinks we're dating, why does so everyone else, and what led to him thinking that. Now, he's just quiet and I'm just looking at him not say anything. Stuff after this is a bit fuzzy because I just wanted to cry. This next part came very out of the blue for me as well. It's just effing weird looking back on it. He said something like, I didn't really think we could actually date if I asked you up front, to which I said, that's how relationships usually work though, you ask, to which led him on a tangent about women in general, opinions that he shared with me, and said to my eyes with no regret, what I saw in front of me was no longer my best friend of 5 years, it was a boy who grew up to be a man and to have a very damaging idea of women, stuff that I could assign to immaturity, but he had nicer things to say when he was 14 than what he told me now. I just interrupted him and asked what led him to think about women this way, since he never let his family, most predominantly his mother. To be honest, I don't think even the most conservative women in the world would say what he said, but his mother still has some not so nice beliefs about women, influence him into these antiquated ideas. He was quiet for a while and that did give me some pity, until he opened that mouth of his again. There's these podcasts that let me know everything I needed to. Oh, so you're a Tate fanboy now? He starts arguing and yelling that it's not him but that they know what's right and wrong, how things should be, and to be honest, I'm not really listening to him at this point. I just wanted to get out of there and cry. I'm listening, but nothing is registering. Some of the milder things he started yelling are about women and our relationship with food and how we should have a limited amount, how we're so vulnerable and emotional, ready to blame men for everything, and how we start yelling at every minute inconvenience, which is funny in hindsight, how menstrual stuff was a hoax and that I was no doubt lying when I couldn't walk from my period pains because I wanted his attention, and that no girl can possibly feel a greater pain than a man. He also said that when we were talking about his course, something to do with car parts, it was not cute and sweet of me, let alone women in general, to act dumb and pretend I'm clueless, because that does not make me more appealing. I genuinely don't effing know how a car works, my effing bad. I tell him that if this is all a big joke, it's not funny. He interrupts me and talks about how he listens to these men but doesn't tell anyone because he knows I and our friends wouldn't agree, tells me I'm not a perfect woman, whatever that means, but that he would still like to date me but couldn't tell me because I'd say no and ruin his fantasy. I'm crying now and people are noticing, so I just wanted to get out of there immediately. I tell him, not verbatim, but along the lines, you're so effing dumb, you genuinely could have dated me, if only you had asked, you could have had everything but you started listening to opinions of guys who have nothing. How sad can you be to pull a stunt like this instead of asking like a normal person? He starts yelling that I'm wrong and they know what is right, starting a whole rant that I don't have the strength to listen to. I stand up, start walking, and he grabs my arm. More people are staring. I tell him to let go and he only does when I threaten to call the police. I left telling him to never speak to me again. I am now home. I've blocked him on everything and told some friends what happened. They were all shocked by how he acted and what he said. One guy did tell me, he was always easy to influence though. I asked why they thought we were dating and they told me it was how we acted like a couple. I guess that one is on me, combined with the fact that he told them yes when they asked, and since the behavior checked out, they just never thought to talk about it with me. I'm not responding to any of them right now. To be honest, I'm moving cities in a few months with my family. I used to cry about it nonstop because I'd have to leave all my friends here, including him, and that was the last thing I wanted. Now, I'm kinda glad I don't have to worry about bumping into him. I just feel distraught, like, that was a nice friendship, it was a pillar of my childhood and now it's just gone. He said and did some nasty things, even if it was in the span of a few hours. If up until moving he comes up to me personally or tries to pick me up from class, I'll repeat that I do not want him in my life anymore. If push comes to shove, I'll call the police. Not that I think they'd do anything though. I'm also sharing my location with both my older brother and father. Yes, it might be a bit delusional and not needed, but you never know. He was a great guy and we did have a good friendship up until he decided to view women as objects and date one without asking because he deserves it. I just can't stop crying. I really thought I knew him, And for him to be able to spew those words and opinions at me like that, stuff he's always been against from what I remember, it was shocking. It's only been a few hours, but it's already weird not having that constant text or call happening. I feel like it's kinda empty, but I don't want someone like that next to me. The worst for me is that I see no change. He has no sisters and his mother does somewhat think that way as well, and so does his father. Maybe Coach could help, but I just feel betrayed, I guess. It feels stupid to say, but it's true. I mean, I get men like this every single day. Every girl does. It goes from professors who know me to drivers who are seeing me for the first time. Comments vary from just telling me I'm pretty to more gruesome stuff. I'm used to it. I just never expected it to be someone so close to me, that I trusted. I don't know when he started thinking like this, but now it has me feeling all gross and dirty. If he thinks like this about me and never said it, I don't even want to know what he thinks about our mutual trans friend, what his opinions are actually like when he's always been nice and respectful to her. It does help me chuckle a bit that some of the things he said were just so textbook misogyny that it seems he learned them on a Joker Sigma Instagram account. That is so dumb, it's kinda hilarious if you omit the part where he said SA is not a real problem, so that is that. I thought I had a nice friend by my side, but guess not. Never trust a guy, even if you grew up with him, they'll disappoint you eventually.